Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
So Voice Your Vibe was literally, well, it is my life story. And, I always say that everyone has a voice and a story that matters, and a voice and a story that can positively affect, impact, and inspire another human being's life. And there's no greater gift to give, and there's no greater gift to receive. And the thing is, Russ, is that I didn't think I had a voice, let alone a story that I'd want to even talk about. And when I made that LinkedIn video, the very first one, now almost 900 videos ago and 3 years ago, I was terrified.
Do you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie.
Today's episode brought to you by Davis Home Inspections of Albany, Oregon. If you're looking for quality in home inspections, call Ray at Davis Home Inspections today. And by Tried and True Coffee of Corvallis, Oregon. If you're looking for a good brew, go to Tried and True. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. So glad you all joined us today. I am so happy for my guest today. A new friend, Brian Schulman, is with us today, and he is a positive guy, my kind of guy out there just really encouraging people and spreading positive vibes, which we'll talk more about. But I want to start off first by saying, hey, Brian, how's it going?
Hey, Russ. Good to be with you. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
It is so awesome to have you here. And, I got to be on one of your shows this last weekend, Radiate Positive Vibes. We'll talk more about that. Was so much fun. Had a good time, did a little bit of the dancing. And
Yes.
That was really great. Yeah, that was fun. But hey, before we get going, just wanted to remind everybody, I am Russ Hedge. I am a coach, motivational speaker. I'm an inspiration specialist, and obviously a podcaster of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie, also author of Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose. And it actually goes like this: Befuddled, live the life you choose. There you go. So I'm teaching everybody those hand motions, so important. Anyway, really excited about that. And, I just love to connect. This whole show and this whole podcast is about how amazing people connect. We've definitely met that standard today, as we'll talk to Brian. But the best way you can actually connect with me is to go to russhedge.com. That's russhedge.com. Super easy. I keep it simple. Has all of my contact points on there, my social media, email, phone number, everything you need to get in touch with me. And you can even schedule time to talk directly with me. You can go on there and schedule time, and I would love to chat. So without any further ado, we're going to jump right over to Brian. Brian, tell us a little bit about yourself, from where you came from to where you are today.
Sure. Well, I'll give you the business side, and then we'll talk about where I came from, because that gets us to here. So, known as the godfather of LinkedIn video, one of the world's top video marketing experts. I've been on the internet since it was literally green screen and chat rooms. 21 years of proven digital marketing experience, strategizing with Fortune 500 brands and IR 500 brands around the globe. I am a Forbes featured entrepreneur, a LinkedIn top voice, founder and CEO of Voice Your Vibe, my company. Serve on a number of boards. I am a trusted advisor and mentor to founders and companies around the world. I was named a 2019 LinkedIn Video Creator of the Year, a 2020 top 50 most impactful people of LinkedIn. I am one of the pioneering top LinkedIn video and LinkedIn Live creators in the world. And when we're not in a pandemic, although I have been doing it during the pandemic internationally, I do speaking engagements around the world. I do have LinkedIn Live shows that have been featured in Forbes, Thrive Global, Yahoo Finance. They've been syndicated on the Smart TV network. And actually, in July of last year, I broke the LinkedIn Live record and set a new one for broadcasting live for more than 4 hours. And we'll tie a knot on it through workshops and one-on-one mastery coaching. Work with founders and C-suite execs and their teams who want to find their voice and show up and don't know how to find the bravery and courage and voice their vibe, attract their tribe, and how to tell a story people will fall in love with on LinkedIn through video.
That is incredible. I mean, just from listening to that, when I grow up, I want to be Brian. So that was, that is crazy, all the stuff that you've accomplished. And
Yeah.
no, I mean, you already from just watching you, I learn from others and I just love to watch all that you've done. And it just encourages
Mm.
me. I'm so busy encouraging other people a lot of the times. There's times when I need a little bit of that encouragement, and you definitely have fit that bill.
No,
So
I
tell
can
us where
relate
you
with
came
you.
from a little bit.
Yeah, so that's the other part of the story. So I was a pound and a half miracle baby in the 70s that wasn't supposed to live. They were not ready for, a 3-month early preemie. And literally fought for every breath to make it into the world. And then preteen was diagnosed with a neurological disorder called Tourette's syndrome, which are uncontrollable tics and twitches. And usually you're not aware that you're doing them either. So in the height of my Tourette's, I would say, preteen, I was somersaulting from room to room, jumping up and down. I had these intense neck twitches, wrist flicking, lots of auditory noises, facial expressions, and a lot of times they would commingle. And like I said, usually you're not aware that you're doing them. So I dealt with a lot of adversity growing up, a lot of bullying as a kid. I was the small kid, the weird kid. And I didn't look at being weird and different as a good thing. Honestly, it wasn't until my very first LinkedIn video that I really was all of me. And that was actually 3 years ago this month. So, it's kind of crazy just thinking about, all the stuff we talked about before. And like, I was not this person.
That's incredible. I mean, overcoming what you have overcome and coming from where you came from to where you are now, incredible. So, speaking of where you are now, Voice Your Vibe. Tell us a little bit about when you started that and a little bit about it.
Yeah, so Voice Your Vibe was literally, well, it is my life story. And, I always say that everyone has a voice and a story that matters, and a voice and a story that can positively affect, impact, and inspire another human being's life. And there's no greater gift to give, and there's no greater gift to receive. And the thing is, Russ, is that I didn't think I had a voice, let alone a story that I'd want to even talk about. And when I made that LinkedIn video, the very first one, now almost 900 videos ago and 3 years ago, I was terrified. And because nobody, except for one-on-one touches along the way, if I thought it might help somebody, nobody was aware of the story. And I didn't want to talk about it because I didn't want to be looked at differently, treated differently, miss opportunities, because I didn't want anything to get in the way. And again, in my head, that's the way I'm thinking, right? There was one time in business, early days, that I actually did talk about it. It was early days of my career in the tech world, because I grew up, if you will, in the MarTech space for 20 years, building and growing startups. And I didn't have a whole lot of legs to stand on, but in terms of like what I could talk about. So I figured, well, I'll just share my story. It's about tenacity and grit, and, I can get through anything. Give me a shot. Like, I can learn, I can grow. And I met with like 8 different hiring managers and a bunch of different people in between. And at the end of every one of those interviews, I all said the same thing. Well, that's a great story, but why should we hire you? And I walked out of that building with my head down and my tail between my legs. And I said, I'm never going to talk about that again. And I didn't. And, did really well in my career. And, but come to LinkedIn video, and I share this with you because that's how Voice Your Vibe started. Like, I literally, after all of the love, support, and encouragement that I got when I posted that video, I looked at the words weird and different for myself in a very different way. And I realized it was more of a gift, and it was more of a superpower, if you will. And that, someone didn't have to go through what I went through. They didn't have to, have that an experience, but they felt it. They felt it, and it reached them, and it inspired them. And that was what I realized. I'm like, okay, this isn't about me talking about me. This is about me sharing stories, because everyone loves a good story.
And this is what I love about what you're talking about. It's the authenticity of what you're all about that helped create all that you're doing now, because that's what people want. They want the real you.
Yeah. No, it's so true. And I had to that's the other thing I like to share with people is like all the accolades are great, but like you know, I had to learn everything from ground zero. Like I had no idea what I was doing. I had never done anything like that before. It was always my kids on the other side of the, camera or whatever. And so I had to get comfortable being uncomfortable in every which way possible, psychologically, emotionally, technologically. I didn't even know there were apps that existed for this kind of stuff. So I was so green. And I always tell people, I have been through anything and everything you will ever possibly go through like, multiple times over. So like, just know you're in good company, because like, I really truly wish I actually had someone filming me behind the scenes over the last couple of years, because it's so comical. The things that had happened, me sitting here with my phone in my face and an iPad in the other hand and scrolling because I wanted to get a message across that I couldn't fully remember. So I'd write it down and I'd mess it up so many times. Like I would have content for like 5 years if I kept all the outtakes from I mean, it's just crazy, but that's the stuff we think about, it's like, right. Oh no, I mean, I work with top 100 TEDx speakers and people that, I mean, I've graced the stage so many times over the years, and I love speaking, but there is something very different about putting a phone in front of your face. It's a whole nother dynamic, and
such satisfaction in showing people what you've already gone through. I mean, I have 30 plus years of marketing and sales experience, but I am learning just day after day after day, moment after moment, all the things that have changed over the years, and the way that you really do connect and really get through to people now is different than it's ever been before, in a good way. And so especially when you radiate positive vibes, which that's a good segue into our last couple minutes. And that is, I love your show, Radiate Positive Vibes. Got a chance to be on it this last weekend. So much fun. Got a chance to dance. And what did you call that? Dance a vibe? I can't remember what you called it.
It's social distancing. So I created this during the pandemic, right? I'm like, okay, how can I step up and help? And I'm like, okay, I'm a positive guy. I love to radiate positive vibes, and I love to make people laugh and smile and lift people's spirits. And I'm like, okay, what can I add to my show just dynamically? And there were a couple of things. One was, I didn't like the word social distancing. It didn't make sense to me. Physical distance, but social togetherness. I'm like, what can I do with that? And it just kind of hit me. I'm like, okay, social distancing. Like, let's find something and let's bring people on and let's dance together. We're socially together and we're physically distant because we're digital. I'm like, this totally works. And I added another dynamic I have 2 shows weekly, Saturday, which is Shout Out Saturday, and then Wednesdays, which is What's Good Wednesday, and both respectively 133, 134 this week episodes. And Wednesday I decided to add in like a DJ moment where you come on the show, you pick the jam, and as I say, DJ Bri, which is a DJ Pineapple, because we use Snapcam filters on the show, which is a whole other dynamic too. And we have some fun, and on Saturday we use a video each and every week, and it's a viral video. You've seen it. It's a guy, it's Skeeter. It's Sketther. You've seen him. People have made videos. He gets out of the car and starts dancing, and the guy in the car is egging him on, and it's just got really good vibes. Like, I got up and moved when I saw it. I'm like, this is awesome. We got to use this. So yeah. So it's fun. I mean, look, most all of us have had so many down moments in this pandemic, and I just, I've had so many people come on the show. A guy came from India who had been in quarantine for 7 days. He's like, this is the first time I've been happy in 7 days, and it's because of your show. I have people who have come on depressed who have said, thank you so much for this. I feel so much better. That means everything to me. Right. It's just to be able to help someone else for a brief moment and not think about the crazy world we're living in and just feel better,
Totally. I mean, just be able to lift the spirits, encourage people, and just have fun. I mean, what is life if you don't have a little fun, right?
That's right. That's
So,
right.
hey, well, you know what? With that, our time is over. So I want to make sure people know how to get in touch with you because they're going to want to find out more about you. So give us your contact information.
Yeah, sure. So I always say the best place to find me is LinkedIn. So you can find me at linkedin.com/in/Brian Schulman. Russ will have that in the show notes. Just make sure that you send me a personalized note. Say, hey, I heard you on Russ Hedge's podcast. Anything else you want to say is great, so I don't miss them, because I literally have thousands of invites in my inbox and most have nothing in terms of messages. So I don't want to miss yours. So yeah, LinkedIn's the best way to find me. If anybody wants to come and join me live on one of my 2 weekly shows, that's the beauty about it. We literally invite guests from the comments onto the show. They're across 7 different destinations, so you'll be seen all over the place. And like I said, we have fun. So Saturdays at 9 a.m. Pacific, Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Pacific. And yeah, and hey, look, if anybody wants to, if you're kind of new to LinkedIn or you've been around, but you're kind of realizing it's a whole different thing. It's an engagement platform now, not just a digital resume and a place to look for a job. I have a free LinkedIn Masterclass that I created last year this time, actually. It's 15 free lessons and a bunch of great nuggets to get you going. So LinkedIn Masterclass.thinkific.com. Russ will have that as well. And if anyone wants to kind of, get into this whole video thing, you need to, by the way, especially I think you've realized in the pandemic, now more than ever, you got to show up and be present, and digitally is the way to do it when you can't go outside. But if you have questions about video, LinkedIn, live video for your business, or you want to talk strategy, Russ knows I have my Calendly open for folks specifically for that. So I'll make sure he has that as well, but it's calendly.com/voiceyourvibe.
That is so awesome. Hey, thank you. And I will link to all that in the show notes. And I just appreciate you so much today. This is the beginning of a long relationship. I just already consider you a friend, and it's just been a pleasure to get to know you already. And so thanks again. And I want to thank all of you for coming today. It's been awesome because you're here, and hopefully we've added value to you today. I know Brian has added value to me. And so we appreciate you. And until we see you again, have a great day and a great life. See you later.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.